From the moment we arrived in Nicaragua, we knew we were in a different kind of place.
It's very stunning, shocking maybe is another word, how quickly we went from one world to another. That I'm just in a totally different world from the world I'm normally in.
From an ecotourism standpoint, it was absolutely wonderful. I was totally amazed. I wasn't entirely prepared for the amount of, forest, wildlife that we were exposed to.
The idea of creating a strong relationship, an intimate relationship with another community is something that fascinates me. I was in the Peace Corps years ago in Africa and found the meeting people of another culture to be one of the most fascinating things I ever had done in my life. And from that, we came up with the idea of ecotourism because people here are so outgoing and friendly.
The first part of the trip, we're living on a beautiful mountaintop in the rainforest, and it's wild and it's lovely.
Our home base was Finca Esperanza Verde, which means Green Hope Farm. The finca is a model organic shade-grown coffee farm.
I never knew there was so much to know about coffee.
And while we were there, we got to plant some coffee trees and work on compost and do some of the work of the farm. It was a lot of fun.
Play coffee. I love just looking at the views, seeing different flowers.
We hiked a good bit, and we saw some really exotic animals that you don't have here, like leafcutter ants and tree frogs and parrots. It's a breathtakingly beautiful place. We went horseback riding, which enabled us to go further than we could go on foot and to see magnificent views that we couldn't have gotten to on foot. We also visited the butterfly house, which is made of locally available materials, and there are quite a large number of local people that are very busy bringing in new butterflies and food to feed the butterfly pupa. One of my favorite activities was watching a local baseball game. In Nicaragua, grown men play baseball much more than children do, and it's an avocation that they really dearly love.
The trip to see the monkeys was the Monocongo, where it was totally exciting. It was like a total trip through the jungle to see these amazing animals right, as close as can be.
Woohoo! It's coming down.
Ecotourism is a new and growing industry, and it has three main goals. One is that the local environment is improved, not just doesn't get worse, but is actually improved by people coming to visit it. Second is that the local people have a serious stake in not only the work being done, but they own businesses, they participate in the income, and they have a say in what goes on in the business. And the third is that the people who come get an appreciation of the local culture and people.
That's achote preparado.
Achote?
Achote, vinagre, chile, salsa.
The second part of the trip is an opportunity to really live with the family. There's a tremendous genuineness, and I would say that's what I find the most striking thing about the trip is meeting a lot of these people who are very open and very kind and very generous with me.
We were helped by a local club of teenage guides who were very knowledgeable about the history of San Ramon and took us to some really beautiful places that we could have never found on our own.
Me gusta que los turistas
I like it that tourists want to visit such a poor country like Nicaragua, and that they want to visit such a poor town like San Ramon.
que es un pueblo muy pobre, y yo admiro cómo los turistas vienen a una familia
I
pobre
admire how
de San
tourists
Ramón
come and
y se
live with a
adaptan,
poor family in San
y a
Ramon
ellos les gusta.
and adapt to the
A los
family
turistas les gusta
and
vivir
enjoy living with
con
these
estas
poor
familias
families.
pobres.
That is
Eso
truly
de verdad
admirable.
admirable. El
They learn
sentimiento
from
que tienen
us
de
and we learn
nosotros,
from them. There
y
is an
nosotros
exchange of
aprendemos de
experiences.
ellos.
Everyone from the United States that works on the project works as a volunteer, so the money that's generated by the tourism stays in Nicaragua.
El turismo ha beneficiado en muchos aspectos a la comunidad.
The community has benefited from tourism in many ways. In getting to know a different culture, the North American culture. The exchange of cultures between the tourists that come to visit and the hosting families is visible. It has been a positive experience in this respect.
And so that was the idea, to give people as much of an immersion as we could in this 1 week, and still also preserve the pace of life here.
Sometimes I think about how I'm going to tell the people back home when I get back home about this trip, and I kept thinking, like, that this is the best thing that I've ever done. It was really one of the most enriching, getting the things that I'd ever done, and both in so many ways, in a social way, in a ecological kind of way, in an eco-tourist kind of way, all these things. It feels like totally positive. I think I haven't ever felt quite so positive about a trip that I have about this one.
De paisano